Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sergeant Alex here, and today Minecraft's gonna be a little different. I had a request, and I'm going to be fulfilling it this week. As you can see right now, I'm making a jungle tree, and I'm gonna be playing around with it a little bit because I want a unique jungle tree, not one of those just one stick straight up in the sky. But I don't want to sit here for an hour making a tree. So while I was playing around with this, with my ideas and stuff on the computer, I came up with a little easy way to give a little bit more oomph to the jungle tree, but with not a lot of effort. Just take some time and flint and steel, and hopefully the random numbers that make trees in Minecraft will be with you. As you can see, I'm removing this tree so it's away from the one on the ground, and I'm going to torch it after checking fire spreads is on. So I light it on fire, and I'm going to hover around for a bit. And while I do that, I'm going to explain what I'm thinking for the tree. I want something that's easy to get up to, has a nice unique look to, and since it's a tree house or tree fort, whatever you would like to call it, I want a little bit of a rusticness to it. So I think in the end result, I come up with something nice. Watching that tree burn, and pretty much to make the unique little jungle tree, you're just going to be growing a bunch of jungle trees on one tree. As you can see, I'm up here doing that, and I get a nice beginning shape. All I have to do is add the trunk a little more, which I'm about to do. And it's just placing trees. I do another 2x2. Just kind of get those three grown and up there, which gives it a thicker trunk, and I think it comes out nice. And then I just start growing single trees to make the unique shape. So we cover the rusticness, popped a few more there to kind of fill it in. I think overall it's a nice big jungle tree, something beautiful to grow, to build upon. And I'm actually going to start on the ground with this tree. There's two sections to this little design of mine, and it's going to be a little choppy for the first building because I'm still breaking out the details. As you can see, I can't put those two little walls there, and I didn't even realize until later on that I put a different color wood there. And you can use any materials you really want. I just like doing the stone base, and I did a dark wood to go with the jungle wood. So instead of having pink, it's just a dark wood that matches the trunk nicely. And I used oak for like the roof and stuff. Have some fence posts out there because it's gonna kind of be like they're gonna be like supports holding up the building. And the one thing I definitely think is right, having the buildings small. I did the one down here small. On my computer, I experimented, did long, wide, and everything in between. But a small shack works really well. And now you can see me starting the roof process. And I wanted the roof to have a little bit of like a cottage feel where it's like hunched down. And I think we're coming up to the first little jump here. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be the next 5 seconds. I played around the roof, and this is just the result I liked in the end. So there's the little jump there. But I want the roof to go up a little bit towards the tree, kind of like if you made a tent out of the roof. I want that little feel, which in the end I don't get exactly, but I still think it looks really nice. So I'm just tearing up a little bit. And once I get to the tree, part of it stays up with the tree, the other rest of it goes kind of down as you go out to the outer edges of the roof. And you just see me placing half slabs, fooling around with that, trying to get the look right. But I definitely like how the roof looked in the end. And it's definitely something that's going to be trial and error. Roofs, if you're not doing a pyramid, a little triangle or pyramid type roof, you got to put some time into it to get that right look you want. You can see how it has like I'm missing that half slab in the lower part. That's why I decided to delete all this, and then I do the one step down, kind of to kind of give it the right feeling. I play around with stairs here, but I don't like how the stairs look in the end. So going down half slab on the last 2 layers, 3. But it still looks like it's hugging the tree. It was built onto the tree and looks nice. And that my little thought process for this is it's a quick little shack. You can have some storage maybe. I'm playing around with the stairs to get that feeling done. It's a quick little access. If you want to have like a ladder in the tree that goes up, go ahead. But I kind of like the little walkway on the outside, which I do later on. And it would be great for like a little mining hut. You can have that as your mine shaft and live up in the tree. And here you have the little supports. I'm bringing it to the building and make it look like it's being held up. And have to play around with the roof a little bit, make sure everything meets nicely. Because that little half gap, I don't think it looks nice. And periodically I just add these, and there's going to be two on at the corner pieces. And I punch out one door here because it's a relatively small shack. I mean, it's only 2 wide and 7 or 8 long inside. So it's definitely cramped. And now I'm just looking at the tree out, trying to figure out where I want to do the main structure. So punching that out right now. And one thing I definitely learned on the computer is don't build your two main structures and then the walkway up. Kind of figure out where you want your main structure, your little building in the tree is going to be, and then do your walkway up to it. That way you don't have anything that's just wonky or looks bad at the end. And if, say, your walkway doesn't look quite right, you didn't put all that time and energy into the building, you can change it up still. Just pulling up some of the trunk there to complete the tree. And you definitely have to play around with the tree a little bit to get the right look. Towards the end of the video, I add more leaves, more branches and such. And I want the walkway kind of right there. Not the walkway, the main platform we'll go with. So I kind of square out the tree, get a nice square going around it, and then I start building out a circle pattern. Which I was happy with the circle pattern, but then I decided it didn't look rustic enough, so I play with that more towards the end, and I'll cover it when I get there. But I'm building out to what I think would be a nice sized platform, and then I can go on from editing it there, just having a little brain farts on how I'm actually building this. But once I figure it out, it goes a lot smoother. So we have the main little platform. I think I'm going to do one more layer around it. And main little platform up in the tree. Nice viewage. You have your part 2 on the ground. And now I'm trying to figure out how I want the walkway to go up. Because I want it to flow nicely with the tree, but without looking really, really neat and orderly. So I'm going to stick mainly... Actually, the whole thing is done out of half slabs. I thought about trying to put stairs in, but I didn't like where any of the spots that I could have put it in. So I just did half slabs the whole way up. Just making sure it flows nicely with the building first, and then I'll start curling up around the tree. And try to plan your path out ahead of time so you can just come back and add the details. I'm not doing it right here because I want to make sure I pass the little shack there first. But you can kind of see me just doing the one line up with the tree, and I'm trying to get the flow nicely with what leaves are there and how the trunk curves. I'm going to have to punch out some leaves there. And then you have your time to go back, kind of neaten everything out. Delete the full blocks and just put half slabs in. And you want to make sure it's easy for your character to walk up to. You might be being chased by a spider or a creeper or something. So having a nice little organized flow to it, definitely important. And not throwing your half slabs on the ground by accident, definitely important on that one too. Let's see, I'm coming down here by the main little shack there to correct it. I put that half slab there so if I accidentally do fall in there, I don't have to jump out, I can just walk. Punching out some of the leaves, meeting up with the trunk. And we're getting close to the little main floor. And at this point I'm thinking how I want to come up into the actual treehouse. Do I want to build out from the tree and meet the side, or do I want to stick with the trunk and come up through the floor? Which I decide for the size and shape of the platform, I'm gonna just come through the floor. It'd be neater in the end. And don't be afraid to have little odd sections in your slabs. You can see there I have that little L shape. There's some 2x2 areas and 1x2 areas and 1x3 areas. So here I am coming up into the shack and the floor gets a little bit more uniform because I'm not having to worry about the trees or leaves anymore. It's just the blocks that I've already placed. And after I did that, I went down and throughout the whole building process, I checked to make sure I can get down this walkway, and if you can get down it, you pretty much can get up it. At this point, I decided to add a little bit more to the foundation, and towards the end, I realized this was an issue because, say, it's gonna sound weird for this one, but say for reality's sake, you're building this tree house. That that floor right there, even with supports and stuff, would not be structurally sound, and it would look weird if you had all the supports because you wouldn't need the tree anymore. So after I realized I did the wrong color around bordering, and as I fixed that later on, is when I overall improve upon the shape. Here I'm just taking some spruce fencing and kind of bringing little supports down to the tree. I thought about doing full blocks, but I kind of like how the fences look a little bit more neater. That, and if there's like half a fence post kind of invading the walking space of your little swirly staircase up to the top floor, it's not going to completely mess up how you're going to walk. And in a few spots, it does actually come in the walkway, and I think it adds a nice small little bit of detail. Have that little section pointing out, and I really had no order to how I did all this because I wanted to be messy. I wanted to be messy, but I wanted it to look neat. Is what I'm trying to get at. And the hard part is not trying to interfere with the leaves, which definitely is hard. But I'm not sure how I want to say this. Try not to delete the leaves as much as humanly possible, but don't be afraid to. After all, in the end, when you finish the whole building, you can always go back, add more jungle logs, and add more leaves. And now I'm just doing kind of the same support system for the main floor, but I'm doing the same design for the staircase, make it look like it's being held in place. And of course, it's sitting on some tree logs already and some leaves and stuff. So there's the support for that. And during the whole process, I smacked out a bunch of the vines, so I'm going back, adding those, and in survival mode, they would just grow down and back. Making sure I have everything. And there we have. I'm adding more leaves around the supports. Make it look like the tree's growing back, or that little section was taken out just for the supports. And just trying to bring a little bit of the greenness back from the tree since I removed so many leaves already. I thought about adding it to the top of the roof there, but with everything being half slabs and in matter of 2 blocks, it's going away down half a block. I figured it'd be easier just to kind of have that little trimmed look, but still have leaves on the tree. That's pretty much it for the bottom half of the tree. The rest of it's just the main little structure up there, which I thought about closing it in, which by all means you certainly can. Here I am fixing up the flooring and stuff, but I went for the more open look, so it's just some fencing, logs, and the roof. Simple, but I think for the purpose of a tree house, it looks nice. I'm fixing the little border there. I'm doing the border around it in a different color just to add a little bit more detail. And here I am just kind of making the platform a little smaller. And that's when I think of having each corner messed up a little bit, random little bits and sections is when I do that. I decide to keep it. There's another section. I think I start playing with this corner. I skipped that one, and yep, here we go. Making the platform a little smaller, but still having a unique shape to it. Add a little bit out there, and then I do the border again. I come in to the staircase. I was going to do it in a different color, but I decided not to, just to do the upside down stairs, so you have a little bit more, feels like there's a little bit more room, but you still have that whole block to stand on. And again, I'm just testing the walk down. You can see the supports kind of getting in your headspace there. But you can still go up and down relatively easy. On the way up, I do get caught on a fence post, but it is what it is. So now, sticking with the jungle tree theme, I'm just going around with the jungle logs and placing them periodically. There really is no rhythm to it. And then the gaps in between, I just fill with the fence posts. That way, when you're up there running around, you're not going to fall off. And then I just go up. I go up one fence post. I go up one because I figure the roof's going to be kind of a tent shape, so you're going to have plenty of headroom. And just to keep with the little rustic theme, I do trace the border around for this roof, but more towards the end of this little first circle here is when I come back and I add extra half slabs here and there, just to give it more of that not matching with the floor theme. There's a little circle. I'm just looking around. A couple half slabs there, a little overhang there. Extended block here and there. Then I just decide where I'm going to raise the roof up a little extra to kind of make sure it has a nice little flow to it. It's going to look weird if I add a bunch of half slabs on the outside and then I just follow the inside going up a half slab at a time. It's going to look weird. So I kind of just smooth it out there and then I start going up half slab at a time. And as I get to the top and I'm running out of room and stuff, I start using stair blocks just to give it that little bit of raised edge there. Just going around the circular pattern, getting caught on the leaves. And definitely don't be afraid to play with your elevations here. You can see me sort of doing it there. And that's just because I don't want the neat roof. Having a little trouble placing blocks there. And the one thing I was trying to avoid, which is harder as you get up more and more, is the really long sections of just flat blocks. Which is why I'm using the stairs there and I'm placing them at different angles to try and break it up there. And I don't want to delete any leaves right now, so hovering under and trying to hit just that side of the half slab to do that. Then I just continue on my way around. Half slab there, bring it out with the stairs. And it took a little bit of playing with the roof, but in the end result, when I pan out in about a minute or so, you get the. I hope you see what I was sort of kind of going for. And then just finishing it off with the stair blocks there, and I just pop one half slab in. So it has a little bit of a little being held up by the tree in the center feel to it, but it gives you a nice little playroom, and you can definitely look out. And to prevent falling, I just played around with fence posts and gates. So kind of break it up so it's not connecting every block. Cut through here because this is where I'm adding the door. That way mobs and stuff don't follow you up and can get in. I just do 2 doors. You see me here put half slabs on, but I don't like how it looks in the end, so I just kind of get rid of them and have the doors there. If you had a little bit more room to play with, definitely go for kind of closing in there, but I didn't like how it looked with this particular tree house. So I delete that in the end and decorated the inside, but I figure you're going to decorate the way you wanted to. And here I'm adding more leaves to the top to kind of make the tree look like it's alive and flourishing. Having some of the leaves grown down onto the roof, so they're just kind of sitting there. And the hard part is trying to get the jungle tree look without having it look so boxy vanilla jungle tree look, if that makes any sense. So, playing with leaves right now. And in the end, I was happy with the tree, the little tree house here. It still looks like there's a tree there. There's a little shack built up. And I like the little shack down below, kind of breaking everything up. And that's pretty much it for the tree house. Okay, and that is going to be it for this episode. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I love reading your comments, so please comment anything. It could be about the cats, about future episodes, about something you would like to see on the channel, anything. Other than that, this is Sergeant Alex, and I hope you have a nice day.